Welcome back to another edition of PSR Sports Talks here on Penn Sports Radio. I'm Scott Johnston, the program director for the station, and happy to be joined today on Monday by Matt Rauscher, the senior starting quarterback at Allentown Central Catholic. And Matt, thanks for joining us this afternoon. I know you had a workout this morning, and I know temperatures throughout this week are going to be in the 90s. So how pleased were you with how things went this morning's workout? And also, I understand this is the second week for the football team doing these workouts.
Yeah, so we started last week. It's an early morning session. I like it in the morning personally because it's not as hot, but it was a great workout. We have really good team chemistry right now, and we're working really hard. So, yeah.
Well, we'll talk more about your workouts a little bit later in the show here. But, first and foremost, we always like to ask our guests how you and your family are doing during this pandemic. I know it's been a long 3 months. You probably weren't able to see a lot of your friends and teammates there at Central Catholic. So how did Matt Rauscher deal with being locked down for 3 months and really not being able to do much at all?
Yeah, so it was tough. I mean, everybody is in the same boat. So, I mean, it's hard for everybody. But I got to spend a lot of good quality time with my family and still communicating with my friends the whole time on, obviously texting and stuff. So it wasn't too terrible. So, yeah.
What were some of the biggest challenges that you personally faced, really not being able to do much at home? Maybe just doing some workouts at home and so forth, and maybe review some tapes. But was it pretty tough on you?
Not too tough. I mean, obviously limited with equipment, like working out. I had to do home workouts, a lot of body weight stuff. Definitely watching a lot of film, and that's about it. But the hardest part was probably not being able to be with the team. Everybody could probably say that, but I think for us, we really wanted to be together a lot, and because we have some new coaches, a few new players, so that was probably the hardest part, not being able to be together as a team. So.
What type of interaction did you have with your teammates during the lockdown? As far as you and I are doing a Zoom session, I'm sure you did some of those Zoom sessions with your friends, or just maybe texting or phone calls. What type of interaction did you have with your friends there at Central?
Yeah, so every Sunday we would have individual position meetings on Zoom, and we would talk about the tape we're supposed to be watching, and it really held us accountable there. So we'd see each other and talk on the Zoom calls with our coaches, and then we have group chats and stuff. We're communicating and talking, having fun. So stuff like that.
How productive did you find these Zoom sessions? Because for me personally, I didn't know much about Zoom before this pandemic hit, but now we're doing a lot of these Zoom sessions with athletic directors and coaches and student athletes from the schools that we broadcast for. You becoming a real pro at doing these Zoom sessions, and just it's something you get used to now?
Yeah, so with school we had to use Zoom. I'm pretty sure everybody did. So you get used to it, you adapt to it, and with football it's the same thing. It's not hard to use. It's kind of like FaceTime. It's not hard to use. So yeah, definitely adapting to Zoom this whole time. Yeah, it's been pretty easy.
Now, earlier I mentioned that you just got home from a morning workout, and this is the second week that Central Catholic has been going through these workouts. Give our viewers a sense of how things are going there. I know nothing is normal right now. You'd probably rather be doing 7-on-7s and some other things that go along during the summer. But are you pleased overall with the turnout you've gotten there from your teammates, and just how happy they are just to be back doing some type of workouts after that lockdown period?
Yeah, we're definitely really happy that we're able to be together working out. And it's kind of weird because it's like we're just starting to play football right now. It's already July, so there's that. But I mean, everybody, like I said earlier, everybody's in the same boat, so everybody's got the same timeline. We only have limited time until our first game, late August. So I mean, it's great to be back with the team and the coaches, and our chemistry is really getting good, and we just got to keep improving on that.
How different is the workouts, Matt? I mean, when you showed up the first day, along with your teammates, what were some of the things that the coaches instructed you guys you can do and then you can't do? Because there's a lot of guidelines that you guys have to follow.
Yeah, so I mean, during this whole pandemic, we've been working out a lot. So I think fatigue wasn't an issue, but with the stuff that we're limited to, like obviously we can't be throwing, can't be handing the ball off, can't be doing a lot of football stuff. So it's a lot of body weight workouts. We had like 4 circuits, so it'd be like body weight workouts and like speed, then conditioning, and then individual position groups. So for me, it was a lot of footwork and stuff.
I'm sure it doesn't feel normal for you, not being able to do your normal routine for football, but how do you think you and your teammates are going to, handle the fact that, you personally weren't affected by spring sports? I know a lot of the other teams, like baseball, softball, lacrosse, they had their seasons canceled, unfortunately, due to the pandemic. But do you think that, once the August 10th date rolls around for the heat acclimation, that you and your teammates will be ready to go?
Yeah, definitely. I think we've all been holding each other accountable. Definitely our senior leaders have been great over this whole pandemic. Every day we've had to work out during the week, just like normal. Just like if we were at school, we'd be lifting after school. So we would hold each other accountable. We'd have to record ourselves working out and send it to the group leaders. We had groups split up, and we'd get that to Coach McGorry to make sure that we're all doing our workouts. So it's basically just an accountability thing, and we've all done more than, if not enough, this whole time. So I think we're going to be more than ready August 10th when that rolls around. So
with the spring sports season being canceled for, again, sports like baseball and softball and lacrosse, I'm sure a lot of the your fellow classmates that play on those teams. That had to be really difficult for them to go through that, as far as having their seasons canceled. What type of interaction have you had with players from the other sports there at Central?
Yeah, I'm good friends with some baseball players, and I know that must be terrible, because I can't imagine not being able to play my senior year of football. I'd be very depressed after that. So, I mean, I can't imagine what they're going through, or what they've gone through. But I mean, they just got to put a new chapter in your life. They're going off to college, most of the seniors. So, the new thing to look forward to for them, even though this whole situation really kind of stinks. But yeah.
Talking here today with Matt Rauscher, the senior quarterback at Allentown Central Catholic, here on PSR Sports Talk here on Penn Sports Radio. And Matt, I wanted to ask you, again, football season is right around the corner. How optimistic are you that we're going to have a fall sports season here in Pennsylvania, given the fact that, this pandemic is still going on? Most states across the country, their cases are rising. Pennsylvania is doing relatively well compared to other states, but are you pretty optimistic that we are going to see a fall sports season?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, all you can think is positively. So I really hope that we do. I think that we will. I know the Ivy League has a meeting this Wednesday about what they're going to decide on. So it's really getting close to what we'll probably decide on. I know Michigan postponed their high school football season to the spring. So hopefully we don't have to do the same in Pennsylvania, but we'll see what happens, and we'll be ready if same terms apply to us.
Would you be a big fan if I probably know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you anyway. If the fall sports season got canceled and they said, hey, we want to play the football season in the spring, what would Matt Rauscher's response be to that?
I honestly can't tell you right now. I'd probably be upset. I mean, I love playing football. I wouldn't know playing football at any other time. So, I mean, it'd be weird for me, but I just want to play football. So if that's what it comes down to, then I'm all for it. But
now, a year ago, Central Catholic finished 8-5. You guys reached the District 11 championship game, losing to Pottsville in the finals. What were your thoughts, Matt, on last year and how your team did overall?
It was definitely a huge improvement from the year before. Having a losing record and then flipping it, basically going 8-5 with our new coaches, and we basically had a new identity this past year. We knew who we were, and that was a thing that Central football has been trying to figure out, like who it was, and I think we found that this past year. We know who we are. We're really ready for this next season. I think we have a chance to be really special, and we just got to keep working hard.
We broadcasted a couple of your games on Penn Sports Radio Live last year, and we'll also be doing more of your games this year. So for any Central Catholic fans that are watching this video today, be be sure to go to PennSportsRadio.com. We're going to be announcing our football schedule soon, so you'll be hearing the name Matt Rauscher, I'm sure, called a lot. One of the games last year, Matt, that we covered was your game over at Emmaus. A big rivalry game. I remember that game for you personally because you had 4 touchdowns. You had 2 passing, 2 throwing. And, oh, by the way, you spoiled Emmaus' homecoming. How special of a night was that for you and your teammates?
Yeah, that was really special for us. It was a really big game for us, especially coming off the Easton loss. That was a pretty bad loss for us. We basically had a team meeting with Coach Rory, and we were just sitting in a classroom, and we were just trying to figure out what we need to do. And that was really the focal point of our whole season because players stepped up that really haven't talked much all year, and they said stuff we need to do, and it really brought us our identity that we were looking for. And after that, I think we went uphill, and we had a really great end of the season. So that Emmaus game was really pivotal for us, finding who we were, and gave us a lot of confidence.
Another big win by your team late in the season was, I believe, in the district semifinals up in Northwestern. And forgive me, I don't remember the name of the kicker, but he won the game for you there in the last couple seconds. That was a pretty special game against Northwestern, who had a really good team, and they battled you guys. Yeah,
Chris Matejcek, he had a great kick. We had a pretty rough start that game. We finished strong though, came back 16 points deficit, and we beat them. It was a great game. They played hard. We played hard too, second half. So, it was a great game.
So there's a lot of expectations for this Central Catholic team this year, with you back at quarterback. And I'm sure you and your teammates are well aware of the media that is talking about your squad this year. Tell all of our viewers, Matt, about some of the other key players that you have coming back this year and maybe some newcomers that you think are going to make an immediate impact.
Yeah, so definitely the top players coming back: Jaden Williams, Jack McGorry, Mason Maxim, Christian Spignardi, AJ Cologne, John Fifield, Nate Cordova. All those guys, I think, are going to be really key for us, already knowing our offenses and defenses schemes and helping the new guys, helping the younger guys fit into their roles. Some new guys like Tommy Saleko, I think, are going to be really key. And I'm really excited for what we have set on this year.
And how about for you personally, Matt? What type of individual goals have you set? Any goals for yourself heading into this season? Or it's all about the team. But last year you threw for 1,900 yards, you ran for 500, and you scored a combined 28 touchdowns. That's a pretty good season. I'm sure you want to try and do even better this year in your final year.
Yeah, I don't have any really personal records. I want to do better than I did last year personally, but, the main goal for us is to win championships, and, that's the only thing on our minds. We're really not in the individual mindset at Central. We're really just focused on winning championships, so obviously our first goal is to win the district championship. We haven't done that in a while here, so that's our first goal this season.
Before I came on the air with you, I had an opportunity to peek at the 2020 schedule for your team, and it's a pretty tough one. I'm looking at some of the names of, especially early in the season, you play Emmaus at home, and they're expecting some good things this year, and you'll also travel to Freedom, travel to Nazareth. Also, you'll be playing Easton and Parkland as well. What are your thoughts this year on the EPC overall and some of the teams to watch out for?
Yeah, the EPC it's a really tough league. So last year we weren't really knowing what we were going to expect, how we were going to be, and we handled ourselves pretty well going 8-5. But I think this year it's going to be a little different. All the teams know that we're going to be a different team this year, and we're going to be expected, unlike last year when we were unexpected a lot of the games. So I think for us, we just have to go week by week and not focus down the road. We just got to focus on the team we're playing that week, and I think we'll be good if we do that.
Tell us a little bit about your head coach, Tim McGorry. He's in his second season. How much has he helped you improve as a player and a quarterback, Matt?
Personally, Coach McGorry has done everything for me. He's really changed. He's changed my playing style. He's fit me more into a pocket role as a quarterback. He's helped me develop more mentally, reading coverages, knowing what to do, late game situations, always having the clock in my head, stuff like that. And I've really changed as a player with Coach McGorry, and he's really changed the locker room on our team. Like we all want to be at practice. We all want to prepare during the week, and he's been really great for us. So.
Off the air, you had mentioned to me about your older brother having played quarterback at Central just a few years ago. Once your senior year is over there at Central, who's going to be the better of the Roushers?
I mean, that'll always be a talk in the family. So yeah, it'll always be whoever is talk. Like I'll say me, he'll say him. So yeah.
Any idea how your parents might be voting in on that one?
They don't. No, they don't get into that. Just us. Yeah.
In that game against Emmaus last year, Matt, I mean, you did a good job not only throwing the ball but running the ball. Have you always been the type of quarterback, like a dual threat quarterback, to be able not only to pass but also to run as well?
Yeah, I mean, I love running the ball. When I was little, like youth football, I always wanted to play running back. So I mean, it's been kind of part of my playing style, just running the football. But I fit more into a quarterback role last year, throwing a lot more than I was running. But I mean, I also ran a lot too, so I love running. Yeah, I love running the ball.
And looking back on the upcoming schedule for your team this year, is there any one or two games that you have circled on your calendar? I mentioned that I believe it's either the second or third game of the year. You'll have Emmaus at home, and then you're going to be playing Easton at Lafayette Field. That's going to be a pretty neat experience for you and your teammates. Yeah,
that will be. I mean, honestly, probably no game circled on our list right now. We're focusing on if we're even going to have a season right now. So that's our focus. But when we do play, every week will be the same. We'll prepare the same. It's no different any week. So we're just going to be ready for whoever we play that week.
Again, this is Scott Johnston, Program Director for Penn Sports Radio. Happy to be joined by Matt Rauscher, the senior starting quarterback at Allentown Central Catholic. And Matt, my final question for you. By now, everyone knows that you're going to be staying close to home for the next chapter of your life and going to Lehigh University. Tell us what went into your decision on why you wanted to be a Mountain Hawk for the next 4 years.
Yeah, so, I mean, growing up, I always dreamed of playing close to home at Lehigh, going to games, watching them on TV. It's always been kind of a dream for me. And when I got offered by Coach Brisson, I knew it was only a matter of timing when I was going to commit there, because that's my dream school and I wanted to play there before I could remember when I was little. So playing close to home with my family, my 86-year-old grandpa still being able to come to my games. He's came to every football game since I can remember. So it's going to be awesome for my friends and family, and I'm really excited for it. I love the coaches, the players, everything about it, the academics, the football tradition, everything. So I'm really excited.
In one of the articles that I read about you committing to Lehigh, you had mentioned that the offensive coordinator, and you mentioned it just a few moments ago, Scott Brisson at Lehigh, he was at a number of your games last year. Do you remember exactly which games he was at, and did you have good games when he showed up? I don't know if he was at the Emmaus game or not, but that was probably one he should probably have been at. But do you remember the games that he was at and how you did those nights?
Yeah, so I think he was at the first game we had, Stroudsburg, and then he was at the Bethlehem Catholic game. So that was the last game of the regular season. So that was a good game for us. I played well. The team played well. So that was a good game for him to be at.
And that was one of the other games I wanted to mention to you. Always the last game of the year, they call it the Holy War between Central Catholic and Bethlehem Catholic. What's that game like to be a part of?
Yeah, I mean, I say every week's the same, but I think Becca week is a little different for us. We prepare differently that week because it's, especially with Coach Gregore, I mean, it's something that all our coaches take to heart. And, Central versus Becca rivalry has been around for, can't even remember when it started, but it's the Holy War. And, that's a game we got to win. If we don't win any other games all year, we got to win Becca. So, yeah, that was really a great point in our season, beating them.
All right, well, there you heard it. That's Matt Rauscher, the starting quarterback at Allentown Central Catholic for their football team. And Matt, want to thank you for joining us this afternoon. Good luck with the continued workouts. Try and stay cool. I know it's going to be in the 90s all week long, but fortunately for you guys, you do morning practices, so it's not too bad. But we wish you the best of luck, and we look forward to broadcasting a lot of your games on PennSportsRadio.com. Please spread the word to your family and relatives that they can listen to your games. So I'm sure we'll be calling your name a lot this season.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Johnston. I really appreciate the time.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Again, Scott Johnston from Penn Sports Radio. Happy to be joined by Matt Rauscher from Allentown Central Catholic. Thanks again, Matt.
Thank you.